صوت الغد سوريا.
I joke that I have I always keep one bullet left in my gun for myself.
You must keep one bullet here in Syria. You keep it for yourself. It's better than the regime catch you. I guarantee that for you. You must keep one bullet.
American activist and filmmaker Matthew VanDyke dodged a lot of bullets while filming his latest project in Aleppo, Syria, a pro-rebel documentary aimed at raising funds for the Free Syrian Army. For 2 months, VanDyke embedded himself with rebels in the crossfire of the country's civil war.
I strongly believe in the cause of the Syrian people. I fought in the war in Libya in 2011, and I saw the effects of what we accomplished, and I want Syrians to have freedom as well.
In August 2012, CNN profiled the 33-year-old from Baltimore, Maryland, who has a master's in Middle East security from Georgetown University. He had just returned from 8 months in Libya, where he fought alongside anti-Gaddafi rebels, but also spent 6 months in a Libyan prison. The former journalist turned self-proclaimed freedom fighter and now filmmaker believes he can also make a difference with rebels on the ground in Syria. His film, he says, helps humanize the revolution.
I used to wear fancy dresses and high heels, but not anymore.
VanDyke's documentary, titled Not Anymore, A Story of Revolution, profiles 2 protagonists risking their lives to draw attention to the deadly conflict. One of the characters, Noor, a producer, says everyday life for many Syrians is a living nightmare.
I'm not going to give up. Even if I had to die, I'm going to do this.
It's a shame, you know, Noor's a young woman. She was 24 when I filmed her. She's going to spend her 20s in war. This war will likely go on for years.
But with more than 60,000 civilians killed in the last 2 years, according to the United Nations, many wonder if they'll live to see the end of it.
They're a little bit shocked, disappointed. They thought after Libya that help would be coming to them. They don't understand. They feel abandoned. They feel abandoned to their deaths. And largely they're right.
VanDyke's film is set to debut online in February. Nick Valencia, CNN, Atlanta.
A group of Syrian-American college students who had been watching the war unfold in Syria found each other through Facebook and planned a trip to their parents' homeland. They were eager to play any role in supporting the 2-year-old revolution against Syrian President Bashar al-Assad's government. They're planning yet another trip and joining forces with filmmakers and activists with an expanded mission to open a media center in Aleppo. Joining us is Matthew VanDyke, a filmmaker and activist, Noor Kelzi, a journalist joining us from Aleppo, and Laith Al-Midani, one of the Syrian-American students who traveled to Syria.
Flyers tend to blink a lot and don't maintain eye contact.
People care about Syria, and having others to know that means that they need to realize what's going on here is so important. So it doesn't matter, like, if it's a small or big thing that you're doing, you care and you know what's going on and you want to do something about it. You do something that you believe in, and that's the true essence of this.
So, Leif, before we brought in the discussion into what's happening and what you hope to accomplish in the future, I want to ask you, you went there with your group to show solidarity. Now, the group came back, and you stayed longer. You ended up also, as the Washington Post reported, shooting at a government sniper and getting caught up in the fight. How did that happen, and what do you make of that?
Yeah, the whole experience of going into Aleppo in the city was a very surreal moment, because we were going through the city, we're living in the market, we see one neighborhood, everyone is living, there's markets open. The street over was the front lines, and I was going through street to street, we're going through buildings, and we heard the sniper fire. When I heard the sniper fire, at first I did flinch, I was nervous, but then I was like I was really upset, like, how is this person, like, he's shooting at us? Like, that whole concept is still hard for me to understand, even though I've seen it on YouTube hundreds of times. Like, for me to be like a victim of being shot at by a sniper, like, I had to take it in my hands to do what I think is the only way to take him out, because if I hold a sign saying please don't shoot, he's not going to stop. So the only way to take him out is to hold the gun and to shoot him, because unless he's taken out, he's not going to stop. Because these people, they don't understand by dialogue or peaceful ways, because it's a barbaric regime, and their way of method is by killing people. So the only way they will get the lesson is they're all eliminated, because there's no reason for them to be shooting at anyone.
Well, Leif, I certainly understand that, and I'm sure you've heard that the United Nations is recently on Monday, the Human Rights Commission and Council, saying that there's evidence in the past 6 months of war crimes on the regime's hands and on their part, but as well as the rebels and the opposition. And I know, Matthew, that you can perhaps relate to this notion of going with the intention of perhaps just being there. So from Libya, how did you end up in Syria, and why did you go to Syria?
Well, to be clear, I did not travel to Libya as a journalist. I went with the intention of fighting. It's been wrongly reported. But after we succeeded in Libya, and I saw the effects of our success, I realized we had to export the revolution to the next country. And I believe strongly in the cause, so I went to Syria next.
Why do you believe so strongly in the cause? And what is the cause?
I spent many years in North Africa, the Middle East. I saw how these regimes treat people. I saw the effect on society. And it needs to stop. This is the 21st century. And we have people living under medieval forms of government. Shooting at somebody's a terrible responsibility, but somebody has to do it.
I want to play a clip before we go any further. You say you were asked to fight on behalf of the Free Syrian Army when you were there, but you promised that you were only there to film until, quote, next time, as you put it. I want to ask you about that, but first let's take a look at this footage from the documentary you shot with Noor in it, which is called Not Anymore, A Story of Revolution.
Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar!
You saw a man die 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Do you worry that could happen to you?
Noor, are you worried that could happen to you?
Well, that can happen at any moment, any time, any place. I mean, 2 days ago, I just survived a jet's airstrike. I was sleeping at home in my bed when I just, all the windows and the doors were open and shrapnels flew all over the place. I was lucky that I survived.
Liars tend to blink a lot and don't maintain eye contact.
Yeah, I worry that this might happen, but I just don't care because it might happen at any time, any place. This is a war zone. And the regime is vicious, and they don't care whether it's civilians who are safe sitting at their houses, eating and drinking, or whether you are a fighter at the front line or a photographer on the front line.
So, Noor, what do you make of these allegations by the United Nations saying they have documented evidence that there are war crimes and violations of human rights on the hands of the rebels and opposition as well?
Well, basically, it's the regime's fault. They started this.
Liars tend to blink a lot and don't maintain eye contact.
I think there are a few mistakes, but they're nothing compared to what the regime is doing. And I mean, that's supposed to like make somebody move or do something about it instead of just accusing the opposition.
It seems as though when we hear about foreign fighters fighting there, that they're often cited as adding to the chaos, the violence, the destruction, and so forth.
Then yes, I support these kind of things.
And Matthew, is the purpose of your new trip, as Noor is planning to set up this Free Syrian Free Syrian Media Center, rather, are you traveling there as someone to help her set that up? Are you traveling there as a freedom fighter? What are your aims in your next trip to Syria that you're trying to raise money for?
The focus of my work now is helping Noor. I don't plan on fighting anytime in the near future. The time's not right for that yet.
And help Noor do what exactly? What's the aim there?
Help her establish a media center, advise her on a few things, help her with activists and activism, help her with filmmaking, with the activists, various activities.
Because we want to overall support for the Free Syrian Army, we want support of the revolution, because with all the manipulation that's been happening, very, very few people understand what's really happening in Syria. They think it's an even battle when it's not an even battle. They think it's a civil war when it's really a genocide.
Liars tend to blink a lot and don't maintain eye contact.
So many Syrians have met Matthew on the ground here, and they really like say, "Oh, we love America, and thank you for like being here," and just having others who just feel your pain and understands what you're going through. It doesn't add up to the problem. On the contrary, it just brings people together.
No, I support intervention. I support a NATO-style air campaign in Syria. It's not going to happen. They're not getting nearly the weapons or ammunition that they need. Basically, the Syrian American and Syrian European community is going to have to donate money, and Syrians are going to have to do this themselves. But I support any effort to bring this war to an end as quickly as possible, and it's in America's interest to do so.
If it wasn't for Islam, you would see a lot more sectarian killings and revenge killings from the opposition. Because of Islam, we are not like this. We don't harm people that haven't harmed us. We don't kill in a sectarian way. We kill those that have harmed us, and that's it.
For those of you watching, as you know, the conversation here at HuffPost Live always continues, so be sure to stay tuned and keep the comments coming.